Hello, this is J.N.S. and happy Friday, guys. I hope you guys are having an excellent week so far to end the week and that you're going to have a great weekend. And so, as you guys know, we do our weekly tarot on Fridays and we start off with a review of what we said would happen last week. And then we go on into next week's reading. And so last week we talked about on July 5th about various things. We mentioned that there could be new technology produced by the military, like new technology relating to surveillance with a combination of AI. Um, and so we said that on Friday, and then we're kind of seeing like the machinations of that for this week. That did take place in terms of the release of like new technology. Obviously, it's been worked on, but it's in terms of it coming like to the public. So I want to talk about some of that and what it means for us, because again, we do these weekly readings for edification. For myself, but also so we can get a feel of what the energy would be like for the week and some things that we can expect even on an individual level as well as on a collective level. And so these tarot readings, we get to see like what kind of things they got in the mix and what kind of things they got planned and how can that affect our personal life and what are some things we may need to prepare for. Some things may be mundane or may not relate to you, and then some of these events considerably relate to all of us as Americans or even as global citizens. And so that is what I wanted to preface this with. So I guess we'll start with just doing a brief review of what we talked about as far as like actually reviewing last week's video. Matter of fact, yeah, I want to make sure. Actually, no, that's the wrong one. I want to share this one. Here we go. And so that way we can see what we said last week and then start to look for new things. Another thing we talked about was a potential apology coming from military. And so today there was just a release from the Coast Guard um, about the rampant it's going to be pretty much a Me Too movement. We know in the Coast Guard of the military, but I think this is going to extend far beyond military, and I'll show you the evidence of that. And they're doing an investigation because all these women are coming forward, and so there will be most likely some, obviously a formal apology, but also other remedies in addition to an apology. And so let's review what we talked about last week and let's just get straight into it. I'm long winded. I don't want to waste anybody's time. So let's go straight into it. Oops, sorry. I just want to check my sound because I just got um, like one of them warnings on my. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to check my sound and make sure my sound was good because I saw one of those, them pop up warnings about sound. So here we go. I just want to rewind that. Yeah, just back just a little bit. Okay, so we mentioned last week on July 5th that there could be some new type of technology. And so they do have, and this is some cool stuff. Like it depends on how you view weaponry. Um, so maybe it's not all totally cool, especially not the surveillance. You know how I feel about that. I don't like anything that has to do with invasions of privacy. So July 8th, they come out with this new surveillance sensor payloads that's pretty much it's small enough where every Army soldier can actually carry one in their pocket. Is this the one where they can carry the one in the pocket? It's a couple of things that came out, by the way. And so this is a surveillance sensor payloads for use abroad aboard high altitude balloon systems. This one is not it. This is another one that this one is about the balloon. But yes, this is a new radio reconnaissance technology. This is not the one that I'm thinking about though. Maybe it is though. It's a radar sensor payload that weighs less than 15 pounds. No, the one that I was reading about can fit in someone's pocket. So obviously they're coming out with the surveillance sensor, but there's a new drone that's coming out. There's a couple of things. Let's see. Here we go. This is the one that I think this was July 7th. Let's see. It says National Guard testing pocket-sized drones that could soon be in the hands of every army soldier. Okay. And so let's see, it's a pocket-sized drone that the Army hopes one day will be commonplace across its force. It's a first unit of its kind to train with the Black Hornet 3 drone, a mini unmanned aircraft that can fly about 24 minutes and requires minimum equipment to operate. So it's a tiny drone, very lightweight, can fit in the pocket. Okay, so this system can help a team monitor a named area of interest or area they would otherwise be unable due to terrain, time, or enemy disposition. So the drones will also limit the possibility of our personnel from being decisively engaged. Okay, so look how small that is. And so this is something that was released. We did a video July 5th. This comes out July 7th. And so that's one of the technologies. So we got a couple of things that was released this week. We got a surveillance sensor payload for high altitude balloon systems. So that's it's a radar sensor. It's a communications intelligence sensor that was released. And now we have the pocket-sized drones. But here's another thing that was released as well. This was let's see. They have this was July 8th. So they have some suicide drone production. I don't even know if we should say the S word. But yeah, this is crazy. And this is the US government did approve the sales of the Switchblade 300. So pretty much, even though I want to say Taiwan is the one that's going to be using this technology, it was created by the United States. It's called Switchblade 300, Altia 600 MVS. They're attack drones, but these are drones that make you off yourself. This is type 1 and type 2. You know, you see it on your screen. We can't say the word. I don't think we can say the S word. In next year's budget plan, a military source said yesterday, although the U.S. government, so we got that technology coming out. Yeah. And now there's another one where they were able to turn a glider aircraft into a surveillance truck as well. So they're doing things relating to surveillance, tactical reconnaissance, those type of things. And so, I found it interesting that they came out with a couple of these things. As we were saying that I could feel that energy last week that they was working on something relating to technology that had to do with massive surveillance. And so they come out with this, the Switchblade 300 and all this stuff. I'm like, well, Lord have mercy. And so what does that mean for us? And this is going to be produced. This is coming out in 2025. They're not even fully done with the type 1, type 2 kamikaze drones. Yeah, that's the best word to use instead of saying the S word. Those kamikaze drones, that's coming out in 2025. Just so you guys know, it just that they made the announcement, but that technology is going to be coming out in 2025 as far as this type 1 and type 2 drone. Yep. And so another thing that I thought was interesting, I want to finish playing the rest of this just to see what else we said before we get into next week's reading. This we still waiting on. I ain't even gonna hold you because this is a that this technology that I'm seeing them work on. They have not made an announcement on that yet, but I'm almost positive that they are working on something that is so classified that it cannot be released to the public yet. As far as this predictive stuff that I'm thinking about that I still see, and I'm not letting up on it because I know eventually they're gonna release the announcement on it. Um, yeah, it has to do with being able to do predictive programming. It's a military technology that they're working on. Let me see if I can find something on it. But I'll finish playing this. But I wasn't able to see it for this week. But they work if not, they still working on behind the scenes about this. So let's see. Yep. And so let's see if I can find anything. They are working on this. It's called psychoenergetic effort. It's all right. So for those that may say like, okay, that's just you're just being totally just making stuff up. Um, it's already been worked on. Just so you guys know, for years, it's just more so of them coming out with it. It's called Army Psychoenergetic Effort. I'm sharing it right on your screen right here. Yeah, this what I'm seeing that they've been working on this for a long time, but it's about to be ready to be released to the public. Yeah, there's something that they're doing. It's called battlefield telepathy. They already have been funded this. So if you guys didn't know that, I just could see in the spiritual realm that they are at the finish line with this technology. Now, obviously, we know about Neuralink, but no, this is something a bit different. So as you can see, the U.S. Army funded research could allow battlefield telepathy. Soldiers could communicate silently via computer. They are working on this. This is something that they are going to release with very very soon. I have no doubt in my mind because I saw this last week. I saw it clear as day that this is what they're working on. In addition to like the stuff that they're doing with like the surveillance stuff and the kamikaze drones and shit. But the thing is, artificial telepathy, you know how I feel about those things. It's synthetic telepathy. And so to me, I don't, those are things, telepathy is real, but it requires like different shifts in vibration. It relates to signal waves, the changes in the wavelength patterns in terms of the electrical activity in your brain. And so they've been able to develop a technology that can pretty much do that as far as synthetic telepathy. And so obviously, if Elon Musk has the Neuralink, what you obviously you have to know that the military would be working on telepathic brain signals. They already have this stuff. It's not even they're just really giving it to the public. Um, I know for a fact that there are people with synthetic telepathy. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I'm not going to get too much into that, but real telepathy is something that humans can develop naturally. You don't need like a Neuralink or synthetic telepathy. That's something that you can very much develop on your own. And so here's the thing. Here's the kicker. And I'll just say this and we'll get back to next week's reading. Those who have synthetic telepathy and say somebody that happens to develop telepathy on their own without the help of say like a secret society or um, because the secret societies use synthetic telepathy, by the way. And I'm not going to get into how I know that. But say you just happen to be a regular human and you just happen to um, develop natural telepathy through your vibration, and you're not on the radar to necessarily have that. But you're still communicating with people with the synthetic telepathy. Oh, they come after your ass. They come after your motherfucking ass. Sure will, and will pretty much use various electromagnetic radio equipment that can lower your vibration so that you are not that the vibration your vibration is lowered so where you're not able to read their thoughts or send thoughts to them. That's what pretty much happens because this technology already exists. They're just going to make it widely available to the public, whether you're getting the Neuralink. But this synthetic telepathy is going to be used for surveillance. They already have this. They already have this. It's just a matter of the military and making the announcement that they already have it in existence. Um, and I guess they're, or you guys go and get Neuralink. I don't recommend any of that. I think people, I believe the natural way. Develop that stuff the natural way. I'm not going to get into everything I know about this stuff, about telepathy at all. But yes, it is something that you can develop now. It can come and go in waves and moments where you have, like, say, you're partially part of your Kundalini energy is partially awake, and you can develop telepathy, and then you may see it come and go and disappear, and that's normal. Or you may just permanently have it. So I'm shopping at the same time that I'm doing this. So I mean, yeah. Just one moment, guys. Oh, to melt. And by that I mean, like, I have like a order that someone is shopping for me. Okay, so yes, this stuff is going to be coming out, and so what it means for you is, for you as a human, there are people around you that's going to have considerable advantage over you, whether even if they're using the synthetic telepathy. So it would behoove you to start to work on your meditation and raising our own frequency, including myself, so that we can develop this naturally and not have to go through no synthetic uh, telepathy. And again, those who develop the real telepathy, you do become a major threat. You will be hit with DEWs to lower that vibration so that you can stop communicating with them. Because if you have real telepathy, you can take over these satellites and radio communications. There's a couple of things that you'll be able to do. And that's not necessarily just through telepathy. There's other ways to do that through, I'm not going to talk about the other gifts. Again, as we know, psychic phenomena is the easiest gift to obtain. That's why I do these weekly tarot readings. I'm not trying to make it seem like I got something that's so special over other people. There are people that are fake in this space, obviously, but there are many people that are gifted. But as far as the idea of in being clairvoyant itself, that is the easiest one to obtain, and actually all humans are expected to develop clairvoyance at some point in their life, even in certain moments, and so that one is one of the easier ones. Telepathy is a bit harder, but it's still an easy one. Telekinesis is, I would say, is harder than telepathy. Well, for me, I'm not going to talk about, again, I have to be careful when we talk about these things. But yeah, telepathy usually comes first, then telekinesis. Well, here's a go. Clairvoyance come first, then telepathy, then telekinesis. And then the other gifts I am not at liberty to talk about on here. But there are other gifts that far supersede those ones. But those are the ones that the humans have available to them. And so, yes, be mindful of that. They're going to be coming out with synthetic telepathy all around you, and they're going to be using. They are working on. I just showed you, just so you guys didn't think that I just pulled something out of my butt. They are working on telepathic brain signal communication tech for soldiers, the U.S. Army, and so they may not ever. Obviously, this is classified information in terms of where they're at with that technology. But from what I can see in the spiritual realm, they are done. Like, they should have either made an announcement this week or next week, or within towards the end. They're going to make this announcement soon that they already have mastered this technology. One of these military apparatuses. So even though we didn't see it this week, we know that they have come out with their surveillance drones, and they're come out with Neuralink to get people prepared for this type of stuff, and so humans, you have a choice to make. Do you want to take shortcuts? Because this is all what this is about, reverse engineer shortcuts. Or do you want to actually do the work to evolve your soul and consciousness And with that evolution comes those that awakening that will naturally unfold those gifts, as far as like the telekinesis, the telepathy. And I know that for a fact. And you want to be careful who you talk to, and when you do develop these gifts, you want to be careful. Like if you have telekinesis, you don't want to just go out there moving trucks around, and and pointing and shit, making shit fall over, because they will come after you. We just seen this show called Supercell. This is a bit of a tangent. I don't want to get too tangential, but that show Supercell. Yeah, that's very real. I mean, it's a little dramatic, right? But shit like that does happen, and especially how that show start off when they had that when they show that black woman with those gifts, and they show her they locked up. They throw all gifted people in mental institutions. Anybody that has real clairvoyance, real telepathy, real telekinesis. In that Supercell movie, you saw how they was putting people, and they was had them all locked up like that in the show. I'm trying to see if I could see some pictures of it where they had them locked up. Where they was locking the gifted people up. They do that in America. That's real shit. That's not for play. That's real as hell. Let me see Supercell. Let me see the black female locked up. If you have spiritual gifts and somebody find out, or one of your relatives rat on you, because they get a reward from the government if they turn people in. This is real shit. I'll be getting deep. We're about to go into next week's reading, so bear with me. But I'm really trying to look for like pictures of the show to show you what I'm talking about, because they were trying to avoid getting locked up and whatnot. But yeah, female, damn, Supercell. I'm trying to I can't find the photos that I want to look, because this is a new show that was released. I think it's London based. It's a good show though, because and it's real, dead ass real. And again, obviously there's some dramatic sensationalism with with the turning of the eyes and all that. But you better believe that this stuff is definitely coming to a city near you. Many of you already may have developed this stuff, and I may be the one that's Johnny come lately, right? And so, with that being said, though, be careful, because they will lock your ass up in a mental institution, or try to find a way to get you locked up literally in jail. And that means they will stage something to where someone around you will call the police on you, or a family member you'll be provoked. And I mean, they do this show all the time to black people. They've been doing this since the beginning of time. So be careful who you tell about your gifts, or if you have a bloodline that has been generationally into the occult, you're already on a list, and you're already monitored to see if you would have a awakening of, like, say, natural telekinesis or natural telepathy. That is a tangent. I know that's a tangent, but you guys know I like to teach. And so I'll get back to finishing up, because I know you mentioned that there could be an apology. So again, the Coast Guard, they're doing this was just released today, July 12th. They're doing a massive investigation about the SA that occurs in the military. And so there's going to be there's like this Me Too movement in the military that's coming soon. And so there will be a formal apology. This is just so new though, but I mean, it's always been the thing that they've been doing, but we're talking about like actually like doing something about it, where a bunch of women are coming forward, like a bunch of women are coming forward. And so it's about to get real. It was one email that set this off, a 4,000 word Coast Guard email, and then all the other women started coming forward. And so it's safe to assume that now is the time for women to speak about the things they've been experienced in the military. So there's a whistleblower, I guess, that so more and more of this stuff is going to, it's always been a thing. It's always been out, but they're going to have a Me Too movement, and there will be formal apology as well. And so that was last week's reading. So let's actually get into this week's reading. So again, be careful. With all these surveillance stuff. I know that there's some type of equipment. Let me just Google that real quick. So I actually want to make sure that these readings can help people. What equipment can okay. So obviously there's counter drone technology to detect and to stop drones from spying on you. If people are interested in that, you can do counter drone technology. But there's like something that if there was like there's like how certain metals can block like EMS, but I guess that's not really what we're looking for if we're talking about drone technology. And so obviously you can avoid facial recognition with a disguise. You can use umbrellas, you know, to if you see like these drone technology, you can use a umbrella. Um, it is illegal to use anti-drone jammers, firearms, and then hacking, and then certain lasers. I just wanted to get that just in case somebody was thinking about that, you know. Um, and another one, you can use radio frequency analyzers and acoustic sensors to monitor like the equipment. So we need sort of radar, can do a drone detection radar. Yep. So obviously you have to do your own research if someone is consumed with that, but this is what's coming. Like there's a show where they show like a bunch of drones just flying around. Like it was just normal happenstance. As soon as you walk outside, like that is a possibility if humanity doesn't stand up for itself. I mean, they're probably already doing that in China. But nonetheless, let's get into next week's reading. Let's see, and that is for July 13th through what is next Friday, the 19th. July 19th. Yes, next Friday. So let me get that started for you. You know what? I was thinking of doing just individual this week because it's going to take a lot of energy out of me to do a world event. I'll see how I feel, but I have been dealing with a little bit under the weather, so I just needed to conserve my energy in terms of the layers. We talked about how like there are various layers of this collective unconscious quantum bit computer. So obviously you have Akashic records, which is like high level stuff, which is guarded by Sandalphon and Metatron, which I don't use for YouTube tarot reading. I already told you guys that. And then there's Earth record of the Akashic, Earth record of the collective unconscious, which is like pretty much looking at like a server, like a database, which is what I am using for tarot and any mundane reading that I do. If someone wants like high level, you know, reading that pertains to their personal self development, whether that be their business, whether that maybe they're getting a divorce or something like that, then we can use another record, a higher record of the Akashic records. But Earth collective consciousness is pretty much enough to know weekly events, to know the energy of next week, to know even specific details. And then the level above the Akashic record is quantum entanglement, which is something that humans don't have control over. People do have control over quantum entanglement, but those are like high level beings. But then like if it's a force one, in terms of with like if you're dealing with primordial energy, it depends on the entity or the octave of resonance that you are naturally in a spirit realm. And so that depends on your spiritual rank in terms of the levels of quantum entanglement that you experience. And if you are connected to primordial beings, meaning you may be an octave of resonance of a primordial energy, then that's like being connected to the galaxy, like that you don't have control, or God, and you don't have control when when that happens. It for me. I can only speak for myself. Maybe you guys do have control when it happens. I don't have control over when it happens, and you won't feel any fear, and you will be. It's pretty much you have a message to get out that is coming from possibly another. This it could be a parallel universe. It could be God, or it can be literally light years from a whole nother galaxy. Like that's how powerful that stuff is, and that is that's when you're existing in two dimensions at one time, um, and and as an octave of resonance, and your oversoul has to get a message out or a prophecy out or a warning out, whatever it is. And okay, so let me get that. Still being tangential. Yeah. I'm I had gotten to like this, what is this? They have like these jade rollers. What is medicine activity that relates to like anti-aging and like it, and I just had got into one of those. So I had it in my hand right now. So let me put that down and so I can work on, let me tap into the energy of next week. What is the energy for next week? Energy for next week. Energy for next week. Energy for next week. Okay. Okay. We got some decent energy for next week. Is decent. Is decent. Is decent. So let me get it ready so I could share with you. Yes, it's definitely good energy. Starts off a little, like and then and then it gets then it gets pretty good towards the end of the week. So let me get that ready. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So that's next week's spread. It's an interesting energy, I have to say, because if we start off like there may be a little bit of a little bit of disorganization and procrastination in terms of like activities or like feeling a little bit of the procrastination, but then the momentum, the motivation and the productivity increases around, I want to say this is around a Wednesday to Thursday is when the shift in the week of next week will shift. But to be honest, it is I'm trying to see if I pick up any global events, world events, but then I can, trying to see if I find any of that. But I'm going to start with the individual, and if any world events come, then I'll go into that. But it does look like for the start of the week, there's an air of um, possibly of how do I say this? You may notice that you may be dealing with someone, or this could be you, that is dealing with ego, like some type of pettiness, or it could be an argument in which um, want you or your spouse or whoever this person is wants to feel like they are correct. And so it's more so like someone doesn't someone has to be right, like someone has to be right energy in terms of your interaction with a person. And um it can lead to self isolating behavior, like it's it's an attitude that creates isolation. So that could be if you are very egoic, or if you are very petty, or wanting to just be right at any cost. um Even you will isolate yourself, like people will want to isolate from you. Or if it's a person that you're dealing with, you may notice that. If it's not you, you may notice somebody that doing that to around you. Another thing I see is that It's a great week if you had any sort of new venture relating to any sort of business projects. This could be a passion project that you guys wanted to start, or any sort of new job. If you've been looking for a new job, if you've been looking for to start like a new business, or a new phase in the business, that is also a great week for that. It's a good week for investments too. Um, I don't know if that relates to on a global scale, but I'm not even going to get into that because I know you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Um, as far as like what you say on the internet. Um, but yes, there's it's a good week for any sort of artistic exploration. So this could be if you're developing a new skill or something unique, this will be a good week to embark on any passion projects, any new business. It's it also, if you're feeling like you wanted to do something new as far as taking the road less travel, that this is also a good week for that. It's a good energy. There's a good foundation for it. But you in the beginning of the week you want to do some careful planning though. You want to do some careful planning to like if it's tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, whatever type of prep you need to do, and then you'll see that the momentum and the energy to propel it already there. And so, another thing though, if you've been feeling like some of you are may going to feel like procrastinating or a little bit of disorganization, and that's why that planning is needed. If you can plan now, then you can lessen that disorganization and procrastination energy. Or feeling overwhelmed by like too many choices, you'll have more clarity around that. Yeah, so this is a good week for any sort of uh, communication relating to like the career, any sort of change in career or new job opportunity. This is a good week for that as well. Also, travel. If someone was looking to move into like a new apartment, new house, that is this is an excellent week for that as well. And also, yes, it's going to be a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement, forward movement. So this usually relates to travel, or could relate to um, local travel, like moving into a new apartment, moving into a new place. But generally, this usually means um, a world event is starting to come to me now. Uh, Usually, this relates to some sort of movement or travel. We could see some interesting stuff with the housing market. It's something with investments, though. On a global scale, I do have to say there's something relating to housing coming up. Something relating to housing. It does look like it'd be beneficial, though. I can't. I'm not quite sure, but it does look like it could be something that they're working on that allows for more independence in the housing. But it looks like there is they're going to try to block something. Like, I don't know if this is like some sort of law or something. Oh, good God. Yeah, it's like some type of change. Yeah, some type of change in that it could be potentially, or some type of proposal, something new, that could be good for housing. But it does look like there's going to be like some type of external party that tries to block something relating to that. I'm gonna have to put changes around like housing law, or like some type of proposal, is it some type of that's beneficial, but third party tries to block. I don't know why I'm getting that. That's so strange. Um, yeah, yeah, something new. Or another thing that this could, another way I can interpret this is very, very volatile markets. Possibly, I don't. This is this an energy that relates to some sort of the thing with investment just come up so strongly. investment. Yeah, it's something gonna happen with the investments, and that's all I can say. I don't want to. Um, Something's gonna happen, but this looks to be positive more so, if you ask me, than negative. I mean, it could be, but I'm getting more positive energy from this than negative. Yeah, but it's something with new. I wonder if this can relate to a policy change in investment. No, 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 no. What is this? Investment. I'm gonna just say volatility or highs. Something with this. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I also got a feeling that this relates to housing. It could be something with movement and travel. Movement and travel. Policy changes as well. As far as like global events, um, this fool is throwing me off. Roadless travel. Yep, that's what I'm picking up. Let me see what this more means. This Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so that's why I keep seeing something with a home. So I did the Ace of Pentacles can relate to the home and changes in lifestyle. Okay, something they're gonna do. Yeah, this would be a great week if you need to establish a practical foundation to support yourself. Any if you were needing new change of career, any of that. This is a good week to start the planning for around that on an individual level. It really is. Even if you were doing any sort of house hunting, apartment hunting, this is a good week for that too. Definitely excellent. You have probably feel overwhelmed with too many choices. Yeah, it's good momentum, good energy for the most part, except for like where we see like the ego and maybe some pettiness. I wonder if you know what, it doesn't have to necessarily be a negative. This Five of Swords. This could be self preservation. It could be something as simple as self preservation or sticking up for yourself. But um, you may notice if you stick up for yourself, you may lose a relationship or something. But the Five of Swords usually generally has a negative connotation in terms of like conflict on the mental level, on the communication level, which relates to usually ego, having to be right at all costs, and then self preservation or sticking up for yourself in a way where it leads to other people isolating from you because of your actions. And so that's like literally the only negative thing. I mean, it's I don't see Seven of Cups as negative. Some people do though. I mean, that's the energy of that procrastination and disorganization. But if you do the careful planning and set that practical foundation and try something new that you always wanted to try that you're passionate about, then it's going to work this week. Yep, 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 yep. And so I will put my links in the chat if you guys do want to book a reading with me. We could do pre-recorded. There's pre-recorded or live. We could do phone call, video chat, or email. Depends on your preference. Or you can book on the website with me as well. And so I'm going to end it here. So I'm going to share my books. I'm going to share the link to my books. If you guys want, I have a variety of topics that I write on, whether that be the esoteric topics, history books, self-help books, cultural books, sociology books, religious books. Yeah, you guys can check out my work as well. My latest work is The Divine Feminine part, the Galactic Queen Mothership Part 3, the Divine Feminine and Language of the Gods. That's some heavy, heavy, heavy esoteric shit. And then the Galactic Queen Mothership Order, the Alternative, the Freemasonry. That's also some of my latest works. It's 20 books in all, so it's a lot. Heavy, heavy stuff. Good stuff though, nonetheless. Um, but it's certainly for a certain mindset, right? Yeah. So we'll be back next week to review some of the things we talked about this week. We'll see what takes place, what kind of energy is going to manifest next week, and the biggest energy that we want to manifest though is uh excellent energy for next week. High vibrations of love and peace, intelligence, enlightenment, joy, happiness. These are the things we want to manifest in our life on a daily basis. And so that is what we want for next week. Of course, through our trials and tribulations, though, you know, we are required to maintain our frequency at this day and time, and to put our best foot forward, right? Let's put our best foot forward and do the best we can, and we'll see results. We'll see results. Seasoning. Okay, let's see what she replaced. As I told you guys, I'm doing my Instacart order. But anyways, nonetheless, you guys have a great week. You know what? I'm thinking I might get back on here, depending on my energy, because again, I have to really build up. It's just one of those days. I don't know if it's like some type of allergy or what. It is just something that got my energy just um, you know. I mean, I'm fine, but it's like some type of allergy, something that I done damn sprayed in here. I had bought me some of them new perfumes, so it's something that got my allergies a little. But I was thinking about doing a video on like Black American leadership. Does Black America need leaders? And Nash equilibrium, like game theory. Like I want to do that. I want to do that. Topic is so heavy though, as far as like Nash equilibrium and the actions that people can take that will be logical on an individual level, but are detrimental to the collective. And that's what I'm realizing is happening in the Black community among our boule, amongst our quote unquote leaders, amongst those that may even be just influencers as Black Americans. And so I wanna talk about that, like Nash equilibrium that is occurring in the community, because you know how we always talk about crab in a barrel syndrome, right? Like, okay, yeah, people have crab in a barrel. Yeah, that's a real thing, right? We're still dealing with that, but um, another element of that that we're dealing with is Nash equilibrium. And so I want to talk about that, break that down, and relate it to leadership in the Black community, and then talk about what it means to be able to decentralize the way we do things, but also have mechanisms for blueprints, um, and how do we create hierarchy in a way where it's beneficial to the community, where those who have the skills and the mindset that other people don't have to lead, in terms of not necessarily making a decision for the collective of an entire community, no, but um, as far as like supplying blueprints, creating structure and processes, yes, we totally need that. Every community has that. Every community is organized, and so I want to talk about that. It's not to say that we are not, but I noticed, there's this thing in Black America where we're like, there are influencers running around saying, we don't need leaders, we don't need leaders, we just need a code. Um, and that, believe it or not, creates a lot of disorganization. And where we may not want a hierarchical structure that's like bureaucratic or reminiscent of what we see, in the corporations or even in the military, even government. We certainly need things where there's check and balances, and there's um, reasonable decentralization of the way we organize, as well as even elements of hierarchical, um, different levels of voting power, different levels of member access and whatnot. And this, I mean, I'm talking about a little more structural, of course. But it's something to think about. It's something that, I have been thinking about as far as Nash equilibrium and how Black leaders themselves may act, or they want to call themselves influencers or whatnot. But the idea of leadership in the Black American community, I don't think we talk about that properly enough. Or, we say, we have a code. What's the plan? What's the plan? We say, oh, well, Claude Anderson gave us a plan, but nobody's actually following the plan. Shit like that. And it's 2024. And he gave us that plan 40 years ago, and so um, it's a lot. And I have in many ways left uh certain spaces, because I know that it's it's a psyop pretty much. But in many ways, I do think that we still have room to really carve out real self determination and real autonomy for us as a people. There's many ways to do that, but there are psyops amongst us that try to create the illusion of that, but it's pretty much a trap. And so I'm able to see through that. And unfortunately, a lot of my people are not. A lot of you guys are not able to see through that, and so I have to take the hits until the rest of humanity wakes up. um, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm thinking about it. I may not do it today, but we definitely gonna have a conversation about it. It's a lot of stuff I want to talk about on here. Got to get back to like the teaching, um, of the esoteric studies. But the stuff on the Nash equilibrium, that's going to be for the Black American Research, Cultural, and Policy Center. That's going to be it's going to be very high level. It's going to be very high level. Yep. And so I will talk to you guys later. And remember, have a great week. Okay. Let me just